In some of the early training that we had, we saw where people would go out and get groups. We're going to talk about some of the liabilities that could be attached, and I don't want them attached as long as you're doing what you should be. When a ticket gets sold, it's going to have something like this pink sheet that you have that we handed out today, the Consumer Disclosure Notice. Not disclaimer, I don't like that word. Semantically, Consumer Disclosure Notice. You're telling the consumers that there are certain things you're not responsible for. Give you an example, and I'll just, don't read this too late after Little Elmo tonight at the party, and if you're driving home, you might have a little problem, but sometime when you have a little, oxygen outside, read this over a few times because it's good stuff. Basically, the travel agent should not be responsible for any injuries, damages, or losses caused to the traveler in connection with terrorist activities. Some of you from the travel industry who've been with me for 10, 12 years or so say, is this the same sheet I've used? No, it's a new one because I've had to add terrorist activities. I was involved as a consultant with the Achille Lauro case. Terrible case, but it wasn't the travel agent's fault. Yet the travel agent got sued because the heirs didn't want to go to Greece and sue a Greek shipping company. No, not good venue. Didn't want to go to Syria or chase Abdullah Abbas or the rest of his crazies and sue over there. That wasn't good. So they sued here in the United States. And the law was that the travel agent wasn't responsible for third-party crazies out there. So when you go out into the field and you know that you're not misrepresenting and you're saying you're just an agent means it goes down and you're not responsible if somebody else does something. Not responsible for social or labor unrest. How many have been to Italy? Great. Isn't it fun over there? Have you ever been there for 2 days without a strike? No, hour strike, half-hour strike. The cab stops in the middle of the road and says, I'm honoring my brothers over in, in another city. And for another 400,000 lira, you can see how the strike can disappear very quickly or so. Mechanical or construction failures. You've gone to properties and something doesn't work. The air conditioning doesn't work. Is that your fault? No. So I want something in here that the consumer has that says you're not responsible. Diseases. It's a little early. You just came from breakfast. How do I subtly put this? There have been resorts that have been sued for consumers getting social diseases. And that's when social diseases were social diseases, not social diseases like we have today. Your client's going down to Mexico, drinking the water, having a little dysentery problem, coming back and suing the travel agent. I have this in a special category. I take all of these and I put them in a file called crappy complaints. You know what I do? Right there. But we have some of that, and I don't want you responsible for that. Climatic conditions. Don't sell a package and say there is always going to be snow. There is always going to be sun. I went there, it's always beautiful. You don't have to misrepresent. Travel sells itself. You who've been in multi-level before, who have had assorted other products, who may still have a garage full of assorted other products, put a garage full of travel. Everybody wants to travel. And when we're talking about the world's largest service industry, it can only keep growing as we have more discretionary dollars, as we have more leisure time and we have lesser work weeks and we're working off of our laptops or so. You're going to have the people traveling more, so it can do nothing but grow on it or so. I don't want you responsible for abnormal conditions or development. What's that? I don't know. But it flows nice with a sentence. What it's basically saying is if I haven't included anything in that sentence, tell me about it. I'm going to be at your trade booth from 2 to 4 because I want to talk to you. I want to answer your questions, and Daniel wants me to be able to make sure that you feel good about what you're doing. So come in. If you can fill in anything that's not here, tell me about it. I'll give you an honorable mention at our next convention or so. I will say that, no, this is the one who filled in the pink sheet or so. Let's say they ask you some questions. They want to know anything, travel advisories. Do you know what's happening in Lebanon and Syria today? I don't know. There are enough areas that have some potential problems that I believe if you put together an excitement tour that went to all of these areas, back for a little bombing up in Northern Ireland, down Arizona, you'd have enough cuckoos who would want to go on it. But I don't want you giving that advice. We don't know. What do? Phone your government. Come on now, we're in Disneyland. Phone your government. You have any questions? So it includes the travel advisory number. You may be punching for a while and not know if the country is in the Western Hemisphere or Eastern Hemisphere, but it's there. People want to know about diseases, not with you personally. They want to know about different destinations. Government has a line. That's what you're paying your taxes for. Let them answer those type of questions. We will concentrate on selling your travel or so, and you're going to hear today about the different type of travel programs that, are put together that, do look good or so.